his importance to this community for the last 40 and 50 years, it simply cannot be measured. We all know this. And I'm not sure if he is aware that when he speaks and his words, just like we just saw on the screen, we listen to them. When he speaks, we take note. We know that Jacques knows things, and he is willing to share with us that knowledge.
I've also had a number of coincidences that caught me completely off guard, and for which there is no, I mean, the probability of that happening by chance is zero,
right?
You know, and so those. I've also had the privilege of being part of the remote viewing program that went on for many years, but of spending over a year being trained by Ingo Swan.
Okay?
Yep. And I wouldn't flatter myself that I'm, you know, a reliable remote viewer. I believe that everybody has some potential of remote viewing, accidentally or on purpose. You know, there are many stories of people waking up in the middle of the night and, you know, their son or daughter has had an accident, a car crash or something at the same moment. So, but there was one time, the way, I mean, the project was classified at the time. So there was a table very much like this. Ingo would be sitting here, and I would be sitting, you know, about 8 feet or 9 feet away, with nothing on the table except a stack of white paper and a pencil. And he had a target, you know, that he would take at random from a pile of folders, okay? And he would look at the target and he would send me, you know, the coordinates. And so I would do a more or less good job of going through the different levels that we were experimenting with and describing the scene at those coordinates, okay? I had no idea where the thing was, you know. But one time, we'd just gotten in the morning at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and he reads a set of coordinates, and I was, I mean, I had vertigo, and he saw that I was getting pale, you know, and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm very uncomfortable with this site. I don't know where you're sending me." And he said, "Well, what do you feel?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm cold. I'm very cold. There is wind around me, strong wind, and I'm afraid of falling." He said, "You're at the top of a peak in the Andes. You know, there's a peak in the mountain, and those were the longitude and latitude of the peak." Okay. Well, he said, "Go home." And I said, "But Ingo, we just started. I mean, we've got the whole morning. You know, I'm on the road here." He said, "No, I want you to remember that feeling because you got there instantly. You didn't have to go through the levels. You were there. You got the physical characteristics of the place, okay? I mean, the vertigo, the wind, the cold. And you can't do much better than that, okay?" No. I was, you know, I wanted to go on, see what, but I've never forgotten that feeling. I mean, that's, you know, it's the truth. There is no room for anything else. You know, you're not 80% or 70% or whatever. You know, you're 100% there. You know, you're not 2 feet to the left or 2 feet to the right. You're there. It was a time when I really got when he was talking about, you know, the power of remote viewing, you know, and there are a few people who can do that. You know, Richard Bach could do that. there are maybe 3 or 4 people I've met who could do that. I can't do it reliably, but I've done it once.
You did it once.
And you don't need to do it many times because, you know, you remember that.
So it proves to yourself that it exists.
Yes.
As a scientist.
Yes.
You experienced it yourself.
And also that how fast the signal comes, you know. And that was a point in his experience and his teaching, that, you know, your consciousness is like this. The signal is like that, and it comes, boom, you know, in one instant. So that's why people don't perceive it, because it, you know,
It's too
came
much.
and went.
Yeah,
Okay?
very fast.
So you have to train yourself to slow down the signal and to recall it, you know. So the signal is archived. You can tell it to come back, you know, and you can. But in that particular case, you know, the signal came in and filled my consciousness physically. I mean, you know, I was shaking with cold.
And you felt vertigo. You felt a little nauseous as well.
And I had vertigo. Vertigo is a real thing. You know, those are physiological correlates. This is not your imagination. Okay, so yeah, it's true.